yo sé, por eso estamos aquí.
What's your name? Lisa, Lisa Ortega, Ortega. And you're a tenant?
Yes.
Can you just give me a little just why you're here, what's happening, what are you fighting for?
Well, our building is here today because just like many other buildings in the Bronx with low-income people of color, not only are we being abused and oppressed by landlords that don't give us repairs and don't fix what they're supposed to fix, we yet take our money and give us eviction notices when we have the right to withhold rent. We come to the housing court seeking relief from that, hoping that they'll give us justice by forcing landlords to do what they have to do, and it's just the opposite. We don't get fair representation inside housing court. It's very difficult to get a legal aid while the landlord has a very strong lawyer in the courtroom. Many of us don't speak English and we don't always have access to a translator. It's a long process to get an eviction vacated, which means that we lose lots of time out of work. And landlords can afford, quite frankly, to keep giving us eviction notices as a form of harassment for organizers. So we're at the end of our rope. All systems seem to be against us for landlords.
So you said before that the landlords came to you before you came here, and you said that they were harassing you. So can you talk about what that experience was like?
Before we came out to housing court today, we had management come to us, following us behind us, almost a feet behind us, saying they were calling the cops, they would knock on the doors, saying some derogatory stuff as women, some sexist, racist stuff. And half of the building was afraid because they're senior citizens who are ill. They were making threats. We've been threatened that they won't renew our leases, which is illegal, and they tell us we can do it if we will. So we're just getting it all the way around, and then we come to housing court and there's no relief here either. We have to come back 3 days, sometimes lose time out of work, and still we get evicted and there's no relief.
Did you feel afraid, or were you still going to come here?
I think we're always afraid. We live in a state of perpetual fear, but that fear makes us fight back because all we have is our homes. We know all too well what it's like to be homeless and in shelters, and this kind of system like housing court supports that. It supports rich landowners and landlords to be able to just recycle tenants into a shelter system, homeless, and back into their building without really having to make adequate repairs at all.
So how long has this been going on? How long have you been fighting?
Well, at 1058 Southern Boulevard, I've been there 18 years, and that full 18 years we've had to fight every 2 years, it seems, or a year and a half. And very little ever gets done, but yet people constantly get evicted, we get tormented, and we just get harassed all the time. Just getting out the building today was horrific.
Can you give me some examples on what your repairs need to be done in your apartments, what you've seen? Some of the worst cases, what you personally have in your place?
Well, right now we have apartments that are filled with mildew from top to bottom, which are completely black, almost like some of the sandy pictures of what you see. We have complete holes in ceilings and walls. We have everything, you name it. Everything is falling apart in our apartment. We didn't have heat and hot water this whole winter. It was really awful. While people were celebrating holidays with family, we were huddled together trying to get warm as a family. And then on top of that, we get talked to, we get talked down. They're very racist. They tell us, you people, we want you all out of the building. We don't like your kind. Those are the exact words that we've gotten told. We get told that they're not going to renew our leases because we're organizing, that we'll lose, she'll win, those type of things daily.
Are you optimistic that it will get better? Are you going to keep fighting? Do you hope that something will change?
Yeah, I think that we have to be optimistic and hold on to hope because that's really all we have right now. One thing we do know is that there's power in numbers and our building doesn't stand alone. This is an issue throughout the city and we intend to make it a bigger issue until the systems here get fixed and start working in our favor.
Well, thank you so much for talking about this. Anybody else? Sure. Do you think I can talk to you?
We're a grassroots initiative that does a lot of stuff around policing, housing.
So whenever... Okay. Sorry. Can you just tell me your organization again and what you do?
So we're actually part of a grassroots initiative called Take Back the Bronx. It's not an organization. We're not a nonprofit. We don't get funded. We're basically a group of people that live in the Bronx that are really tired of the way that the system continues to be against us. We do a lot of stuff around policing, housing, and trying to build community because we know that the way the system is set up is never going to do any of that. So we have to take power and kind of do that ourselves.
So why did you decide, why are you so passionate about this? Why did you decide this cause? And do you have a personal connection?
So it's not like we decide, whether this is a cause. Lisa's also part of Take Back the Bronx, so we're supporting her in that, and the tenants. But we also realize that this is not something that's very unique to 1058. There's many buildings that this landlord owns that are possibly in similar conditions. At the same time, there are many buildings around the Bronx that people face this reality day to day. They get harassed by landlords, whether it's through eviction notices, through, threatening to take them to court. So we're kind of really tired of this as Bronx residents, and we just want to use this opportunity to reach out to everybody and say that, the system got us divided by different ways, and we're really tired of it, and we're going to come together, and we're going to fight you, Housing Court, we're going to fight you, HPD, we're going to fight you, crooked politician, and we're here to stay. We're not going nowhere, and this is just the beginning. The summer's coming around, so just be ready for everything that's going to go down.
What are some of the things that you've seen personally? What happened with visiting houses? What are some
So right now we just left the building to come to Housing Court, and we couldn't even get out of the door because management came out to harass people for going door knocking. They're clearly harassing tenants for organizing. So the eviction notices, we're very clear that the eviction notices are a form of intimidation, and it's a form of intimidation and threat that we're not going to stand for. So when we were leaving the building, a man comes out at women, yelling, cursing, threatening to call the cops on us because we're trying to get everybody out of the building to go to Housing Court. This is a form of intimidation that happens all the time, and we're really, really tired of it. And it's really sad that we have to come to Housing Court to face these intimidation and harassment tactics. But we're very clear also that we're not going to end organizing. We're not going to stop. We're united. Whether the slumlord or the management likes it or not, people are united. They're fighting back. And if we have to come to Housing Court every month to do that and take time out of people's schedule, we will do that. We will get organized. She will get defeated, and things will change. Woo! Well, that's right. So, of course, if you look at historically, the South Bronx has always had the highest asthma rates. It has the highest asthma rates comparable to quote-unquote third world countries. And that is by no incident. The South Bronx has really been left out of everything since the freaking Cross Bronx Expressway was built. The South Bronx has been created as a racialized space where nobody cares why, because it's poor people, but it's poor people of color that the system doesn't need to worry about because it just warehouses them to a section of the Bronx and it just leaves them to rot. And we're tired of that shit. Either do something about it and you know what, this is the thing, is that the system relies on the fact that they think we're not going to do anything. But it's really, people are waking up in the Bronx and they have organized around housing, we're organizing around police brutality, we're going to organize around these issues. And these politicians and Housing Court and the judges, they're going to face a group of people that are so angry at them. And we are really going to take down the system whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done.
Thank you so much.
Man, you was getting into it.